Namaste, Jai Bharat. This should be taken very serious. It calls for deeper understanding and finer understanding at the same time. Take, I'm just outrightly taking the example of Tajikistan. They made a distinction, which is very right, between faith system and culture of the land. This is what one ought to be making. Their faith system is Islamic, but then along with the system, they're not willing to accept a culture from an Arab background. Tajikistan, they believe, they have their own culture, so they may have faith from a different background because it's an Abrahamic kind of religion which had gone to Tajikistan from the Arab land. All right, they have no problem with that. It's fundamentally Islamic state. But then, along with the faith system, they do not want an Arab culture to enter the society, even names. So this point they have reached through many refinement process. Earlier they were with the Soviets, and the Soviets they first stopped madrasa education, Islamic education, and radicalization was there. The communists that time in the Soviet wanted to contain the radical Islam because radical Islam was contradicting the communist principles, and then the radical Islam was had gone behind the curtain, and since it was forcefully stopped, they were working underground, and again go when while I think it's Khrushchev's time, and then when it comes to Brezhnev, the Islam was again permitted, so the radicals instantly manifested. So Tajikistan had undergone such serious problems until they got a leader who understood the difference between faith and culture. They said we are culturally Tajikis. He wanted to uphold the Tajiki culture. At the same time, he did not want to destroy the faith. But the faith injection into the brain through brain to mind at such very early age is prohibited now. Madrasa cannot take people below the age of 18, and demonstration of religious faith is restricted. I don't know if it is banned but restricted. So very clearly made a distinction between faith system and culture, and the Tajikis wanted to give primacy to culture when it comes to culture, names, dress, festivals, festivities, all those, instead of borrowing a culture from alien land. For them, Saudi Arabia or Arab land is alien, different. Their principle, their systems, their culture is not theirs. They have got a different culture. Perhaps they consider their culture as much better. So that distinction they have effectively made, and as a result, there is no anarchy in Tajikistan. People live comfortably. They feel themselves. They feel themselves, and they feel they can maintain an identity. They do maintain identity. This should be lesson to the entire world, where the world in many places failed to learn from Indian Muslims, that is Bharatiya Muslims. They have their faith system, Islamic faith, but their culture, without forcing, without anyone spreading, without anyone speaking or insisting about it, is already Bharatiya Sanskriti. Their faith system is intact in its place, their culture is intact in their place. They're not conscious or they don't speak about Bharatiya Sanskriti, but they live that culture. They live that Sanskriti. Of course, there's a serious difference between culture in English and Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, that of course besides the point for the time being. It's not besides the point, but for the time being, for our understanding. So the Muslims in Bharat, they're religiously by faith are Islam, but by their ways of living, ways of life, and culture, they are like any Indian whose culture is one and the same. And actually, it is this culture that keeps Bharat united as one whole. And this precisely, this is what Pakistan has lost in this 80 years of time, 17 and 80 years of time. Precisely this is what Pakistan has lost. In their frenzy of fanaticism, they have lost their selves, their identity, which is the Bharatiya culture. And they desperately try to adopt the Arab culture, and they obviously fail, and they hold the Arab culture responsible for their failure to adopt Arab culture. This is a kind of problem in Pakistan, and that's what they're suffering for. And that's what has created that country an anarchic nation, a rogue nation, unfaithful people whom no one can trust. They're really not Islam. The Arabs don't consider them seriously as Islam because they are not. And they have already left their Indian background far, far behind and lost that also. They're neither here nor there. On the other hand, the Muslims living in Bharat are by faith very pure people. Their faith is intact because their culture is intact. Pakistani faith system is shattered. It's only peripheral fanaticism. It's completely shattered because they don't have a culture to hold it together. They have lost their culture. In Bharat, the Sanskriti of Bharat, the culture of Bharat, which is one and the same to everyone living here, holds them integrated with the faith system, with their everything, with their families' bondage, their togetherness. From there, the nations get bonded with such strength and vivacity, amazingly enviable to others. So, Tajikistan should be taken as an example. Salute to those people, of the Tajiki people, who hold on their culture, fine. And we don't bother about which faith is theirs. Is their faith, is their faith. We Hindus are taught from the Rig Veda to respect whatever others believe, because we are taught that we all talk about the same thing in different languages. That's it. That is from the Rig Veda itself. That the Hindu attitude is that we are not concerned about faith. Your faith is your faith because we are taught that Ekam Sadviprabhudha vadanti. I need not explain. This is something which got quoted umpteen times. So Tajiki people, you should respect them. And opposite of that, the diagonally opposite people you find in Pakistan. On the one hand, look at how Tajikis live. On the other hand, you see how Pakistan is miserably getting themselves disintegrated, destroyed to no redemption. They are going to infinite regress. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.